The head of the International Olympic Committee, IOC, Thomas Bach, has addressed Ukrainian Minister of Sport and Youth Vadim Gutsait in connection with his statement about a possible boycott of the Olympic Games. In the end of January, Gutsait said that Ukraine might boycott the 2024 Olympics if athletes from Russia and Belarus are allowed to participate. He also said that letters were sent to members of the IOC Executive Committee, the Olympic committees of other countries and the presidents of international sports federations condemning consultations on the possible return of Russians and Belarusians to competitions. The participation of neutral athletes with Russian or Belarusian passports in the 2024 Olympics in Paris was not even specifically discussed. Therefore, your letter to your NOC colleagues, international federations, IOC members and organizers of future Olympic Games, pressuring them in an attempt to publicly influence their decision-making, was perceived by the vast majority of them as extremely unfortunate, to say the least. Every NOC is obliged to respect the fundamental principles of the Olympic Charter, Reuters quoted Bach as saying in the letter. The IOC has revealed when it will make a decision on the awarding of team medals for the Games 2022. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, has clarified the situation with the awarding of winners and medalists in team figure skating at the Olympic Games 2022. The ceremony could not take place because Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva tested positive for doping. The IOC believes that the International Skating Union, ISU, should first publish its decision on the matter, and then the awards will be distributed. Since the case concerns a doping test that was taken outside the Olympic Games but which affected the results of the team and individual competitions, the IOC hopes that the case will be reviewed as quickly as possible. It is also in the interest of all parties involved, especially the athletes who have yet to receive their Beijing 2022 medals. Only after the investigation of the case will the ISU be able to declare the final results of the team competition, and the IOC will be able to make a decision on the allocation of medals, the USA Today newspaper quotes the IOC representative. The Russian team won the team tournament, but because of the situation with Valieva, has not yet seen its awards. The Russian National Olympic Committee, Ruzada, conducted its own investigation and found that the athlete bears no blame for what happened. This position was not liked by the IOC and the ISU, as well as a number of athletes, so in the near future the verdict may be challenged in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CS. We remind that WADA tried to get Kamila Valieva disqualified for 4 years and deprive the Russian figure skater of all her results since December 25. Since then Valieva became the European champion and won the team event at the Olympics 2022. Sports lawyer Anna Antsalievich told RIA Novosti that she expects an appeal from the International Skating Union, ISU, or the International Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, after receiving a full set of documents from Ruzada on the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva. Earlier it became known that WADA and ISU received copies of the reasoning part of the decision of the Russian Anti-Doping Agency, Ruzada, in the case of figure skater Kamila Valieva and are ready to challenge it in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CS, if possible after studying the materials. It was quite expected. The only thing is that before that it was difficult to give a timeline when we said who would challenge Ruzada's decision. They started when we received the full set of documents. Now it is received, the deadline is on. Most likely, the ISU will appeal, but if it decides not to do it, the WADA will have 21 more days to appeal. That is, WADA will have a total of 42 days. But, as I understand, no one wants to drag out the process, so in the near future we'll see who will appeal, said Antsalievich. After the team event of the Beijing 2022 Olympics, in which Kamila Valieva helped Russian team to win, it became known that the figure skater tested positive on December 25, 2021. The CAS admitted the athlete to the personal tournament of the Games, where she became the fourth. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, announced the results of the Beijing Games with Valieva's participation preliminary and postponed the ceremony of awarding the medalists of the Olympic team tournament until the full completion of the investigation of the case. No medals have been awarded yet, Anastasia Gubanova, the 2023 European champion, a Russian figure skater who now plays for Georgia, will not take part in the Figure Skating Lovers Show, which will be held in Moscow on February 14. Anastasia Gubanova, like other members of the Georgian figure skating team, participates in any event only by agreement with the Georgian figure skating authorities. Georgian Figure Skating Federation did not make a decision on the participation of Anastasia Gubanova in this event. Sputnik, Georgia, quoted a representative of the Georgian Figure Skating Federation as saying, "The federation noted that the media are trying to spread misinformation and raise doubts in society by announcing Gubanova's performance in Moscow. However, the organizers of the show themselves had previously done so. There were no specific reasons as to why the figure skater, who continues to live and train in Russia even after changing her sports citizenship, would not perform in this show. But most likely, this decision is due to the political situation. At the moment, Russian athletes are still not allowed to participate in international competitions. And who knows how the world community would react to Gubanova's appearance at the show in Moscow. What if someone would demand her suspension? And in front of her she would attend the World Championships, where Anastasia would go with a lot of ambitions. And then who knows? Perhaps after Russia returns to the international arena she and Georgia might not have such a chance for medals anymore. Also, this decision could be made based on the training plan of the athlete who is preparing for the World Championships. And there is obviously no good reason to break it. The show is great, but the World Championship is clearly more important. We can speculate on reasons for a long time, but the statement of the Georgian side makes it clear that Gubanova will not participate in the Figure Skating Lovers Show. It is the decision of the federation, which did not give permission. Former American figure skater Zachary Donahue, who competed in a duet with Madison Hubble, spoke about his anticipation of an Olympic medal for the team event in Beijing 2022. There was still no award ceremony because of the Kamila Valieva doping case. There was anger and disbelief at the Olympics that remains to this day. The Olympics are something very special. It is a neutral field where athletes come and declare to the world their hard work, their dedication, their determination, their courage and their integrity and who they are as athletes. The decision that has been delayed for so long really undermines the integrity of the Olympic image and Olympic values. And I think it greatly undermines the integrity that most athletes choose every day when they train, when they eat right, when they recover. So it's not just about the awards ceremony anymore. It's about how the world looks at sports and how the world looks at figure skating in particular. And that's something that's really at risk. But honestly, there have been many times when I've gotten another letter from the US Figure Skating Federation with new details about the case, and just then I remember that I'm still waiting for a medal. It's all been going on for so long that it's already lost its significance, Donahue said.